Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this special episode of how to activate main character energy. So, this is a really fun and playful topic today. So, I would love to hear your interactions if you guys have played around with this, if you've done some self concept work. This is going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to talk a little bit about NLP and hypnosis and other little techniques that you can use in meditations. And I do have a special announcement that we will get to as well in a little bit. I just want to say hello to you all. Thank you, John, for joining us. And Tim, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, please do like, share, and subscribe. This really helps to push the algorithms out, and it just continues to encourage me to create new content. I really want to share as much information, knowledge, and learning as I can with all of you. And I think it's just a really fun space to hang out as well. Hey, Rainbow Sun. And we've got Britt here and Jody B. Thank you all for joining us. And we've got the lovely Jake. And it was so lovely through the week to meet a lot of you on, what was it? On my manifestation soul family event. That was so much fun. So thank you to those who did join us. That was exciting to meet some of you face to face. Well, I've met a lot of you face to face through being clients of mine, but for you guys to interact and see what cities you were from, I think that was really a lot of fun. And we do have the recap coming up this weekend. So I have emailed that out. There'll be a registration link for those that had the invite first time round. You'll also get it too. And I can see Seema is here with us. So let's get into it. All right, so today I'm going to just bring up my little window. So the first thing that I want to talk about with main character energy. So this is really where we can start to become the own character within our story. So if we're looking at this being a simulation down here, and we're looking at how can we have more sort of control or influence in this situation, or how can we take control of the script? So when I look at our simulated reality, I clearly see how astrology is perhaps giving us like that handbook or that script saying, this is your character you're playing. This is like your soul's quest. This is the personality that you're going to have. These are going to be your likes, dislikes, maybe traumas, all these things we can see like within astrology. What I love about this technique and being the main character in your story is we can go in and rewrite the script a little. So this is where things like NLP and hypnosis are really extremely powerful with this. So I'll be giving you some tips and tools on how to do that today. So the first little thing that I have written down, and awesome, we've got Megan from Mexico. I can't wait to visit Mexico. I'm really excited to have that on my list. And we've got John, who was also in our meditation. And actually, before we get into this, let me just talk about my surprise that I have for you guys. I'm just going to bring up my little window. And the little surprise that I have is for those that attended, let me just transfer between windows. So those that actually came to our online event, this Manifestation Magic Heartfelt Connection online event, a bit of a mouthful. So we ran this at the start of the week, or Sunday if you're in the States or Canada, and we did 16 hours of robotic or repetitive affirming. So it was a really interesting experience. I, for myself, had a lot of visions. I know John had told me that he had visions and things too. It was really interesting. And there was almost like a psychedelic sort of portal thing that opened up in my room at one stage. I did find it easier to keep up with the mantra or the affirmation that I used when I was walking. So there's little tips and tools that we might share in another show later. We're going to be talking about this a bit more in our catch up, which will be coming up this weekend. The details are in the email that I've sent you guys. But what we did include in that was I did a meditation, and it was a new self alchemy meditation. So it's where we visualize, and we were going down the spiral staircase into an alchemy lab, creating and affirming our perfect potion and letting that integrate with our soul and integrate into our consciousness. So I have actually just managed to finish uploading this. It will be going live on YouTube in an hour. So at the end of this show, you will be able to jump on and actually do this meditation for yourself. So it was a special one that I did for the group, but I loved the experience so much. I wanted everyone to have this. So it is a really special one, close to my heart, because I do love alchemy and it's so in connection with my brand and my work. We also have, I don't think it will pop up just yet. I think the little poster for that will be the same. That will be coming out at 11:30. You'll see the announcement pop up for that. But please remember to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate all of the shares and you passing this on to friends and family that you think that this information might resonate with. And it's also really lovely to see a few of the views going up on some of the readings and things like that that I'm doing as well. So thank you for all your encouragement and support. So the first thing that I have listed on here with activating main character energy is, I'm just going to make this a little smaller, is visualization. So this is a really great tool that we can use for activating that main character. So when I talk about being the main character, it's a sense of energy and it's a sense of embodiment. So with this, you need to start thinking about what sort of character you're currently playing. So I do look into, sometimes are we playing the victim? Are we playing the villain in some people's stories? Or are we playing the people pleaser or the good guy? Have a look at what your character, what your script, or even your astrology. Now, for me, looking into the Venus sign will be like really good, clear indications on how you bring love into the world, how you bring service, but also how you like to receive love. So that might help give you a bit more information. Hey, Jim, lovely to see you here in Ocean. So yeah, have a look into your character and what your character is currently saying. So you could even close your eyes and imagine for a moment that you're an actor and you're an actor that's appearing on this stage in this game of life that we're playing. And have a look into the way that your character or persona or actor go about certain situations, or if there's different things that come up in whether it's, catching up with certain groups, or maybe you're at school, or perhaps, at family dinners, whatever it is. Have a look at like the story that your character is running. So what we're focused on today too is maybe perhaps starting to detach a little bit from that story, starting to see, if we can create like distance and things. Oh, Megan, that would be amazing. What part of Mexico are you in? And so, yeah, with this, also creating like that new character is such an important part. So sometimes it can be hard to make that quantum leap from, say, an old person that's had a lot of things pop them down, or a lot of traumas, or a lot of where they've been under, attack or things like that, to all of a sudden jump in to be this character that has these amazing experiences and things happen. It can happen, but it just requires a little bit more work. So that's what I want to get into today, is what work can we do to switch this up? So it does require us to reprogram the subconscious mind and to start running a new frequency too. Because sometimes, even if we're trying to sell ourselves as a character, energy doesn't lie. So you might be doing the affirmations, you might be looking in the mirror and telling yourself all of these amazing things. But if your energy doesn't believe it, and you don't believe it at the core and the heart of you, it's really hard to shift and change your reality. So let me just bring back this. So yeah, visualizing like your ideal scene. So it might be that you have a job interview coming up. A date is another thing that can be good to visualize or to work with this situation. So imagining yourself in that scene. Now you want to see yourself as this character. So say, for example, because love is an easier one to explain, that you're going on a date. Now, you don't want to go onto a date where you're feeling that anxiety or you're feeling kind of that lack of confidence. You want to go in where you light up the room. And I've talked about on some of the other shows how we talk about the Marilyn effect. Another thing that's associated with the Marilyn effect, and you'll see this in some of her movies as well, where she walks into a room and her attention, her focus is all internal. And this is how she creates this internal charge, or this beautiful magnetism that just exudes. And because she is so concentrated within that, she's not caring or worrying about like what other people are thinking about her. So this is a big part of really being that main character energy is not putting yourself too much in, oh, what are people thinking about my hair? Like, oh my gosh, like, my teeth, do I have something in my teeth? You really want to get your head out of anything that's to do with sort of picking yourself apart. You want to be more in a situation or running an energy of, uh, people love and adore me, or, I'm so charismatic, or like have mystique about me. If you're going on a date, that might be something, or it might be telling yourself with using affirmations, I'm the ideal wife, or I'm the ideal husband. And, people see this within me. So little things like that, if you're going on a date, re-scripting your character story and just playing with it. And if you are feeling anxiety come up, which we all can do from time to time, it's totally normal. What you can do, and I've used this with speaking on stage. Luckily, I'm very, very comfortable doing that, but didn't always mean that it started out that way. And it's funny because when we talk about different characters, myself in high school and primary school dreaded doing book reports and book reviews. I would much rather be doing some kind of torture than doing that sort of torture. But put me on stage, give me a costume, give me some props, and I come to life. So it's all about perception, and it's all about feeling comfortable within yourself. So sometimes having an anchor, having a prop. Hey, Debs and Tammy. Tammy, it was so lovely to have you as part of our group the other day too. So yeah, have a look at what can sort of enhance your character or your strength. So being really comfortable in clothing when we're going to a job interview or a date is also a thing. And as we did the show on becoming magnetic, also wearing colors and things like that. Oh, I like that for you. That is cool. Britt Marie is saying, I saw a man proposing to me now. Perfect. And this is like where I want to stretch your imagination and stretch your quantum entanglement with this beautiful universe that we're in and experiencing. So I want you to start to switch up and invite new dreams, new ideas, and things as well. And yeah, I felt that it was a timely topic for this day and era that we're running in. And it's also about not taking on other people's perceptions and programs. So notice growing up what was perhaps said to you. We want to decreate, we want to delete that as well. Yeah, so let me just come back to my notes. So yeah, with this, when we're talking about going on to dates and things, you really want to get your story down. So you might be doing, and I've got a little prop here, speaking of props. So a little, mirror, and this is a little bit grubby from fingers and things and makeup. So you want to be speaking your affirmation into the mirror. And for this, it can actually be quite a challenge. So for some people, for example, they might look in the mirror and they might hear the negative story. They might also be running programs of what family said. So say, for example, it might be that your mother or father would put themselves down or pick apart different things, like say, oh no, I'm getting a wrinkle, or I'm so old now. And I want to take those words out of my mouth because I don't say things like that to myself. I always say I'm getting younger and younger every day. And it's interesting because if someone says, different things that you're programming, you're like, no, I'm canceling that. I'm deleting that. That's not my reality. In my reality, and then you restate what it is. So I feel like I'm 25 or younger. So little things like that can be really helpful because then you take that on and you resonate that energy. So if you're finding, I'm just having a look at your message. So Debs is saying, when on calls, I used to train ladies to do sales calls looking into the mirror and smiling. And this is exactly what I was about to mention. So with the smile, even if you can just hold it for, say, like 10 seconds and smile at yourself in the mirror, it actually changes your physiography and it changes your internal compass and reprograms your subconscious mind and all of the hormones and things within your body as well. And yeah, it's a little bit of fake it till you make it, Lorianne. So with this, I want you to pick out 5 things that you can find about your face. So just looking into the mirror. Now, it might not necessarily be a physical thing, so it doesn't just have to be about your face. It can be that I have kind eyes, or it can be that I love the color of my eyes, or I have, really like a happy smile, or I have a radiant quality about myself. And I can see here, Gisela is saying smiles glow. And Debs is saying eyes. So maybe drop in the comments something that you like about yourself. And this is really where we start to actually train our neural network to highlight and spotlight the positive things, because it is a natural part of our brain with the reticular activating system to pick the things that we're not confident about, to replay the negative stories and things. So we're really having to reset and override. And this is a great technique for this. And beautiful message as well. Thank you, Ocean. And I love that, Britt Marie. I love my eyes. Beautiful. And the eyes are the window to the soul. And we've got Corbin, who is also with us, and Jake. Lovely to see a few of you, Soul Family, that was in the event that we did for manifesting. Can't wait to hear about your experiences. It's going to be exciting. So the other thing too is the more vivid that you can get with running a scene. So you would do that work, say perhaps before going into your visualization. So doing a little bit of the mirror work. Then you want to create a bit of breath work. So hand on heart, hand on the belly. You can use any of my meditations. The timeline one would be a really good one to use for this. And so anyway, connecting in, deeply breathing, which is resetting your nervous system. And then I want you to visualize as though ahead of time, just like a sports player would, or an athlete or a runner. You want to run yourself in that scene. So seeing yourself dressed up to go on the date, feeling and looking amazing, seeing radiating energy. You might see heads turn wherever you walk, whatever it is that's doing it for you and making you feel confident. The other thing to remember as well is that sometimes that anxious energy that we get is actually, we can retell ourselves that it's excitement. So it still has that same kind of charge. So whenever I'm feeling nervous, or when I used to in the old days for speaking on stage, I would actually say to myself out loud, because your brain is also taking that in, I'm so excited. This energy is just excitement. I'm so excited to share what it is, with the audience. Thank you, Gisela. So yeah, looking forward to you guys finding this one that'll come up after this show. And so, yeah, definitely running that story or seeing yourself being offered the job at the end of the interview. And so many times I've done this when I've worked for other people in the past and had multiple acceptances at once. So sometimes you'll go for a few job interviews and then I've had my little pick. So yeah, play with it. It's a lot of fun. See the way that other people are responding to your character. Another great way to anchor that would be to see yourself after the date or after the job interview, telling your best friend or telling a family member that loves you unconditionally how incredible it went. So we're starting to build out that story in that future timeline. So we're not just relaying and repeating things that have happened in the past. So I won't go too into the negative past and things like that. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Laurie Ann is saying, if YouTube had 4 like buttons, I would hit all of them on tonight's topic. Very healing and grounding. Well, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. And John is saying, yes, take the energy and transmute it. It does work. Definitely. And I can see gorgeous Jody B. Love my brown eyes. Well, you do have very beautiful brown eyes. And the next thing that I have written down, which is one of my favorites. And this is something that I learned doing a short course in hypnotherapy. And with this, it is anchoring using NLP techniques. Oh, thank you, Jim. That is so lovely. Oh, and the potion that I'm using tonight, got so excited with all you guys here, I forgot to tell you. So I'm using I Am That Witch, because this is really the potion to use when we're creating a new version of self, when we're becoming magnetic, or you can use Love Potion. But yeah, this is a really great one to work with for that. And it also has a little bit of my home and my heart infused in this. It has lemon myrtle, which comes from the trees here in Australia. So elderberry, apple, lemon myrtle, blue mallow, dragon fruit, and peach. And some of these are also really stimulating to the metabolism. So that also doesn't hurt, which is lovely. And so with the NLP anchoring techniques, which they do go into a little bit in this hypnosis book, Comprehensive Guides for Practicing Deep Trance Phenomenon. And this is by Tad James with Lorraine Flores and Jack Schlopner. I don't think I'm saying that right. But anyway, so with NLP and with hypnosis, what we're trained to do sometimes is to actually create an anchor. So you might do an induction, and we have an expert here. We've got Jake. Please check out his work and channel. So yes, NLP and hypnosis are wonderful tools, have been hugely transformative for me as in personal life as well as for my clients. 100%. And yeah, I love the color of this potion. It's actually my favorite color, which I think it is my favorite potion out of all of them. But yeah, so with anchoring, an example of how I would maybe perhaps lead a client through this, or when I've done hypnosis work in the past and even doing self-hypnosis. So one little thing that I will share with you, if you're doing this for self-hypnosis, I always start by looking at my eyes up and picking like the top of the roof line, and I'll count myself in. So I'll say 3, 2, 1, and then just say to myself, sleep now. Gently breathe a little, open my eyes again, and I'll do that little induction of counting down from 3, 2, 1. Eyes closed on the end of each one. You can even give yourself a little click if you want, but I'll do that 3 times. And then I'll feel myself anchor into a deep state. So I've created that as an anchor to put myself into deep meditation or self-hypnosis. Very, very handy in childbirth, I must say. I did hypnobirthing with my babies, and yes, it is a tool that is priceless. So anyway, with this, when you're in that hypnotic state, say you're working on creating like more confidence on seeing yourself speak on stage. And that's actually one that I did work with many, many moons ago. So what I did was I had a goal that I wanted to work with in the future. So you can use it as a timeline. So what I did was go back into the past where I had a win or where I felt totally confident and I felt super and super excited, and I charged my body up with that emotion of like really feeling so comfortable on stage, feeling like this character that was like resonating and carrying the message. And then what I did, as soon as I built it to the highest charge, I actually pushed on a knuckle. Now, say if you wear a ring all the time, you can anchor or hold that ring and charge that feeling, that energy into it. So this is what's called creating an anchor. And then you also want to take yourself into the timeline, and you can pick, I like to pick 3, 4, even 5 anchors. It really depends. You want to get yourself to this place of feeling really confident and charged. You can do this for the date situation or anything. You can pick whatever emotion. It might be love, and deep, deep level of love that you want to anchor within yourself. But essentially, pick things back in your timeline that you've already achieved. And then what you want to do is bring yourself into the present moment. And then you can also, if you have an upcoming event or some kind of job interview or that, bring yourself into that and anchor that energy in there as it's already happening. So that is one of my favorite techniques that I love to work with. Let me just see if I've got any. Oh, this is something I have written down. So yeah, Ocean, essential part of self-care is having the right people in your life. That is 100% true. And let me just see. Okay, so the next thing that I have is working with affirmations. So with this, I do love music that has affirmations in it. So anything by Moonlight Scorpio, I really love her vibe. And the affirmation she sings is like, it's like a spell. I love it. It's really incredible. So with this, you want to create positive affirmations that align with your future version of self too. So it might be seeing yourself, as I was saying before, if you're on a date, in that, perfect wife energy, or that everyone sees and perceives me in that way. So that's a great one. Or the perfect husband, that everyone sees me as a perfect husband. I magnetically, or I radiate magnetic energy. So these would be different affirmations you can tell yourself. It is much better to do this in front of the mirror or to do vision work around it and see yourself recalling and telling someone about it. But yeah, definitely working with affirmations. I love to work with law of assumption affirmations. I do like to create my own unique ones, just like we did in our little manifestation event just a few days ago. So the more specific that you can make it to yourself and less generalized, the more powerful it is. So one that I have with this potion you can see here, I embrace my full power and magic. So this is a really great one for working with the topic of today on how to activate that main character energy. We all need a little bit of that I am that witch. So the other one that I have written down is creating a vision board. So with this one, I have mine where we sit at the dining table. So it's kind of near a little crystal altar, because following Elena's guidance, working with the abundance manifestation corner, I have put mine in that to do with feng shui. So yeah, I have that in that little corner. So you want to see a constant reminder. So you perhaps want to even create, like little vision boards. And I'm not going to show you the words that I've got here because it's a private one. But yeah, I've got a picture that to me represents magic, represents manifestation. Then I've just popped the words over. So you can create that on Canva. Word swag is another great one where you can type the words over the top of your chosen image or picture. So I also have a copy of my vision board on my phone, and you can create what's called like a mind movie. So I have spoken about the Manifesty app before. That is great for creating mind movies as well. Oh, and yes, I love Blue Lotus tea. So I am that which actually has white lotus in it. Blue Lotus tea does have a DMT activating component to it. So it's not ideal for everyone, but every now and then I will add a little bit of Blue Lotus to my potions, depending on what one I'm using. Or actually it's in Vision Quest, sorry. So White Lotus is in Vision Quest, which also does induce this feeling of like opening up and ready for your vision, is what I've heard others say. And I also experienced that myself. So yeah, definitely creating the vision board. It is really good if you can to get out like magazines and cut it up. I actually had photos because there was a lot of people and places and things that I love that I just wanted to create more of that environment and travel. A lot of inspirational speakers and things on mine, which happy to say that these things are already starting to come into vision and manifestation. And best friends and things like that. So I can see how my vision board I created for this year is actually starting to manifest. So they are really, really good as a reminder. And it's good to go back and see what it is that you've achieved or what it is that's just shown up in your life. So another thing that I like for creating and activating your main character energy is to do a ritual. So not just the ritual of looking in the mirror. And this, if you're brushing your teeth, perfect time to, even if you're saying it in your mind, to say your affirmations to self, or if you're putting on makeup, you might be singing some of the affirmations or listening to, many of the other beautiful artists. I did mention Moonlight Scorpio being my favorite. So the other thing with designing the daily ritual, this would also come back to, for me, my ritual would be having a potion. So this reminds me, it resets, it recalibrates me, it keeps my attention focused on what it is. So even the act of making that tea and saying the affirmation as I'm doing that, and you will get a little bit of this ritual in the alchemy meditation that's coming up just after this show. So that would be a ritual. It goes for 15 minutes. You could do that daily if you want, because you're saying your affirmation in it, you're creating a potion in a cauldron. It's so much fun. So that would be one way to do this. The other way is embodiment work. So have a look into your current wardrobe. And I know we talked about this on the magnetism show and what sort of things suit. We also went into the different colors and what colors and things we look best in. And oh yeah, all the best for the move, guys. I hope it goes really well. And the embodiment work. So it's the way that you dress, it's the way that you present yourself, it's your posture. So shoulders back, head held high, noticing the way that you walk and what kind of energy you're exuding, what kind of confidence. So this is a way that, energy doesn't lie. So it's really important to do that anchoring process that we talked about, to rewrite things. So have a look at the way that other people in your environment, or when you're out at the shops, what is it that specific people that are standing out to you, what is it that their energy is saying or conveying? So this will help you to establish your main character energy. You might also want to pick someone to role model off, whether it is, a favorite character in a story. I don't always like to use movie stars and things nowadays, or, pop stars and things, because yeah, we know some of the dark stuff associated. So, I want you to make your character your own. And this is where I do love astrology, because you can find out. For me, I find there's a lot more archetypal storytelling behind some of the Vedic or sidereal astrology. So Claire Nakti, her Vedic astrology would probably be my best or favorite explanation for our characters that we're running astrologically. So there's 27 different nakshatra signs, and it will tell you so much about like the way that you live life and you exude energy and what your challenges and things are. So anyway, when we start to embody this energy, it does change the way that we feel about ourselves. So it might feel a little bit weird at first. You can practice it, or you can practice getting dressed up and taking yourself out. So when we are holding this on an internal level, it really does change the way that this external reality starts to interact with us. So we're starting to play with quantum physics. We're starting to play with quantum entanglement, because when you resonate, say, for example, you're even just running an affirmation. I'm so lucky, amazing surprises happen to me all the time. Or, I get given little gifts all the time, things like this. Oh, happy birthday to your daughter, Emma. I see that it's someone's beautiful birthday. A lovely Virgo that we have. And Seema, this is interesting. I've done that with lion's mane. So if you look into, and Seema's saying, I use blue lotus in DMT chaga mix once. So I use it with lion's mane, because lion's mane is one of those ones that does cross the blood-brain barrier. So it transports it a little bit deeper. So that is a lot of fun, as well as coffee, because that helps to get things into the bloodstream a little bit quicker. So they can be little things that transport. But yeah, so start choosing your outfits, go through your wardrobe, have a look at like what your story is, your character. You might even want to write it down. So I've actually written mine down. I have recommended to a few clients that might be a little bit stuck with this. And you might want to script out who you want to be in the future and get a really clear vision around that. And then you want to have where you're sort of, I always have a vision of standing on a balcony of my ideal dream house, and I'm reflecting upon everything that I've done and achieved that's like been on my wish list for like the next 5 years. I don't really tend to go too far into the future or to where I picture myself being like 80 or 90. I tend to do it more in sort of like a smaller 5-year chunk. You can do whatever you feel though. So have a look at the clothes that you're wearing, your outfit, how do you hold yourself? Really get into like the visioning work around that. If you're stuck on it and you're finding it really hard to write, this is where you can pop it into something like ChatGTP, describe what it is that you achieve at that 5-year mark and what it is that you're doing, or perhaps about like whether you want to talk about like love life and you're reflecting back with your soulmate, having a look at like what you've created. I love her style. Yeah. So I love Grace Kelly's style. I think it's just beautiful. And we talked about Venus embodiment before. I wonder what her Venus sign is. 5-minute story if you are stuck on it. It's a fun little exercise as well. So rewriting your life script is another one. So you can use like law of assumption to really emphasize and create your own reality. So you want to rewrite your narrative as though you're scripting a movie sometimes when you're really stepping into it. So we've got the reflection after technique to have a look, but you also want to have your day-to-day story of what you're currently telling yourself. So you want to look at yourself as a character, and it's really like picking up that book. Oh, so my character has this kind of air or confidence or magnetism about them. And they seem to be able to go into a job interview, no problem. And everyone's just almost begging for them to take the job. And in fact, they're even offering more higher income and more benefits. So, starting to script and use that law of assumption energy. So it really just is, we're affirming and assuming the actual outcome that we want. Oh, and just to let you know, my internet has been glitching a little, and because I'm here in Australia and things take a really long time, technology-wise, it's fixed on the 1st of October. We're upgrading to fiber internet, so hopefully I won't be glitching too much. But yeah, so definitely rewriting your life script, and you want to rewrite how doors and things like that open for you. So another one that I've got, and this is what Ocean mentioned before, it's surround yourself with positive influences. So with this, it is so important to have beautiful, positive, uplifting souls around you, just like Ocean. Thank you, Ocean. So with this, you really want to interact with other people that are on that same wavelength and vibration. And it's interesting. I actually heard yesterday, because I always get synchronicities come up before doing these shows. There was someone saying, I forget who it is, but they said that our energy or vibration, we will tend to project that onto other people. So, say, for example, in love, and a lot of women and beautiful empathic men tend to do this, is that sometimes we will actually project a higher idealized version of someone, but they're really not showing up like that on a physical level. So, what I mean by this is we might fall in love with someone's potential. And it might be because our frequency is high that we match and we see that higher version of them. So, this is where it's really important to have that evidence come back down to earth with being around positive influences, because it might be your frequency projection energy that you're falling in love with. So, this is where it is important. The other interesting flip side of that in relationships or friendships and things, say someone's frequency is lower than you, they're going to have a perception of you from that frequency. So they won't see you for where you're actually truly at. So I found that a really interesting, very well explained reality fact, I would say. So, yeah, so seek out supportive friends, mentors, role models who uplift you. You want to come away feeling inspired. You want to come away feeling supported and loved. And you want to hang around people with an energy that you also wish to embody as well. So, that is a really good one. Another thing, too, and I'm just looking at a few of your Debs, your wardrobe sounds like so much fun. Oh, thank you. I love you guys. You're so sweet. I really enjoy reading your comments, and I appreciate all of your love too. And let's have a look. So I wrote down practice gratitude and celebrate small wins. So we know when we're looking at it from a law of assumption, and when we're running this program within us of, really being in gratitude. And I'm so grateful for this community. And that's a genuine statement. So, I'm so grateful that I get to play with my soul family. And, and I heard the spelling of family is not so good, because I know we've been talking about etymology of words. So soul tribe, I'm going to try and reprogram my mind to say this. Thank you, girls. So yeah, we have the most amazing soul tribe. You guys really fill my heart with joy. So things like this that we're saying, to practice that gratitude, it's going to bring more of it. We're going to call more people over to this beautiful soul tribe, and it's just going to further grow and expand. And we're going to meet more people that we've shared past lives with, and we're going to get to interact on that higher frequency level more often. So little things like that. And let me just see. So the other thing that I've written is celebrate the small wins. So quite often there might be something that we're working on, or that we've really, gratitude changes everything. And on a quantum physics level, it really is that when we're vibrating or resonating something, and I'll go into this on where we're talking about the CIA document, I'm going to go a little bit more into the heart and how the heart actually amplifies and is like a torus field, and how that interacts with the field of the absolute. So I'll go into that more detail in that show coming up shortly. But with this, with gratitude, we're quantumly entangling our heart energy, our gratitude, and the universe is seeing that, and they're like, "Oh, I'll give you more of that." So that is that's an amazing way that works. So don't underestimate gratitude work, even down to, I'm so grateful for Where is she? Oh, she's disappeared. She's run off somewhere. She was there before, Lyra. So, I'm just so grateful for my beautiful baby who brings so much joy into my life and laughter. And I've got such a funny video that I might share with her soon. But yeah, little things like that, it really does make a difference. Gratitude journals are also, oh, thank you, Lorianne. That's so sweet. So, yeah, little gratitude journals can be really good. Thinking of 5 things that you're grateful for when you wake up in the morning, 5 things you're grateful for when you go to bed at night. So these things are really important, and celebrating the small wins. So even if perhaps like you're not too excited about celebrating a birthday, it might be good just to go out with even one friend or a family member. Little things like that are really important because it does also re-imbue your value and worth. So sometimes we'll downplay or we'll be in the old script of a story of, no one cares or things like that. And the same with celebration. There's many times where I'm sure you guys have experienced achieving something and there's been a real underwhelm come in, whether from family or whether from, friends really not hearing what it is that you're telling them. So I want you to celebrate your small wins. And this is where, as we were saying before, surrounding yourself with positive people and influences. So choose who you celebrate your small wins with and your big wins. You definitely have to celebrate your big wins. So with this, you don't want to be choosing to tell this to people who just flub it off or who really, don't care, or they're too stuck in their own story to take that time to celebrate with you. So please celebrate your small wins, whether it's anything from just giving yourself like a bit of self-love practice, like a meditation in the bath, or buying yourself a crystal. I find for me, I'm like, oh, I did that thing that I really wanted to do. I think I need a crystal ring or a necklace. So whatever works for you. But each time you look at that piece, you'll see that it represents a sense of achievement, and it's another embodiment thing as well. So yeah, me too. I'm so grateful for all of you guys. And oh, I love hearing about like your lives, the Brit Marie, with your kitchen makeover and things. It sounds like fun. And I can see here, Giselle says, I'm into solidarity. So I celebrate with me, myself, and I. And I think that is beautiful too. So don't discount like your own joy, your own celebration, and your own sense of achievement. That's really, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, rainbow sun. I think in some of our astrology that we have similar. So let's see. Yes, Lorianne, that's what I'm talking about. So don't throw away your energy on anything that doesn't, or anyone as well, that doesn't appreciate you. That is so true. So the next thing that I have is engage in personal development work. So with really activating this main character, if we're trying to activate and step into new things, new energies, new assumptions, there might be different traits that your new character has. So it might be starting a pottery class, for example, or it might be going out and giving yourself like a little makeover to step into that main character energy. But a lot of this, remember, works from within. So it's doing the inner work, it's doing the meditation. And a lot of this is unbecoming our trauma, unbecoming our past. So just like Dr. Joe talks about, it's getting out of self to create that new reality too. So really, really important. And some of my little notes that I've got, let me just see. So yeah, working with anything that's to do with self-development. Sound healing is another beautiful one to create huge changes and shifts. It's ones that I've had powerful things with. Also doing the mirror work. So these are like little daily practices. So I want this to be something that you take up on the daily. So for example, I'm focusing a lot more on fitness at the moment, and my amazing friend John, who is in the comments, is going to be my health coach. So I'm so excited. Been walking and chatting with him daily, and doing like a little bit of tweaks and changes to my diet and things as well. So yeah, having a look at like, what does your main character do? So for me, like when I'm visioning that new version of self, I can feel how tight my arms feel in like a toned sense. I don't know what it is about that for me. I think because I've had it before, it's something that I start to run that character and I start to actually feel it within the body. So you've got to run a new program. So that's a really, really, yeah. And I think it's, in alignment with summer and it's time. I think in relationships, we can get super comfortable, and especially if you are a feeder. So, one of my gorgeous best friends is so cute. He talks about being a fatty feeder, and he is what I call is the fatty feeder. So, this is another friend who lives here in Australia. And when we travel together, we will literally talk about losing weight before we travel because we just want to eat everything on the menu in certain places, especially like Bali, where there's so many amazing raw vegan places and other interesting restaurants. So I thought it's time to not be so comfortable and to really kind of push this new character. And I see her forming. I see her like transforming within me. So that's really like what you want to see. And Ocean, I see the same. So the gym is a wonderful outlet for me. That is such a good thing and really positive. So another thing that I've had written down, remember, was pick those 5 things that you like about yourself. So retelling that. So say you're brushing your teeth or you go to the bathroom, you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. You want to, whether it's pointing at yourself or, saying, hey, you're such a, beautiful, bright light, little things like that. Or whether it's talking about your, eyes and things. And Jody B, I love that. I actually do too. I was listening to Julian catching up on the astrology when I was walking the other day. So yeah, putting on podcast, walking meditations are another one. Dr. Joe has some of those too. So doing the self-concept work is really, really important. So sometimes we will pull our attention to the external. So say we're in a situation where we're trying to create love, or you're trying to create new work, and you step into the old assumptions. And one of those might be love doesn't happen for me. Like I always miss out. I'm the last one to be chosen. Things that I'm canceling and deleting. Like you don't want to be saying that to yourself. So you want to make sure that your self-concept is you're positively affirming what the new character chooses. So running your main character energy. And again, working with a little bit of that Marilyn Monroe tip of, you want your internal to be the thing that's leading and lighting the room. You don't want to be focused on the spinach within your teeth, or other people like staring at me. Like you don't want to be bringing up self-confidence things. So the other thing too is, one of my favorite things is working on an outfit. So I might choose like a new power color to work with, and there's certain colors that we just can't be hidden in. So bright magenta is one that it is a little bit hard to hide away in. Red would be probably one of the more main colors that we see, that sometimes we can bring up issues of not feeling confident when we're wearing in that, because you can't hide away. And especially if you live here in Melbourne, like me, where most people wear black through winter, or gray, or aubergine is another color, like eggplant color. So yeah, you want to have a look into starting to try out new colors that have a main character energy. So emerald, yes, Shauna, definitely. Oh, that would look beautiful on you as well. So with that, you really want to like step into, okay, what would my main character be? And for years, I used to avoid wearing gold, whereas now I embrace it. And for those of you that have seen post of my feet in the snow in Canada, I have gold sneakers. So that's part of like the main character energy too. With this, who is it that you're conveying? What does this costume or character also say about you? Yeah, Mother Mary Blue. That's such a gorgeous color, isn't it? And interesting how it embodies or speaks about the character. So when we look into movies and things, you'll see that different characters and different stories will wear certain colors or certain patterns or prints or types of jewelry, headbands, things like that. So the other one too is my favorite, which we went over, was anchor. So remember to do the anchor work. That is one that you can activate. So say you're going in and you're on stage, you can be holding, whether it's your ring or, hey, beautiful Pixie, my gorgeous friend. I was going to ask you if you want to go to the hot springs. I'm ready for the hot springs again soon. So Pixie saying, I like sticking to my earth muted colors, and you look so beautiful and divine. And it's such a part of your character. And when I think or see those colors, it makes me think of you, because you're like a gorgeous little earth pixie fairy. So, yeah, it's interesting how we associate different colors with different people too. So, try something that's a little bit more bold or different and see how you feel. You might not be feeling comfortable in it. Awesome. Text me after and we'll synchronize our calendars. So, Brooke Marie is saying purple is my color. So let me just bring up my little reminders why I'm waiting for any questions that you guys might have around anything to do with main character energy. And let me see where my little window's at. So I just want to refresh this and it might bring up the meditation. So let me see. Hopefully my magic has worked. So you can see we're live now. And what is starting in just a few minutes is this one here. Let me click on this window. So this is coming up in 10 minutes. So you might not even have to hit the notify button. You might be able to jump straight onto it. So this is the meditation that I wrote specifically for our group manifestation work. It is such a beautiful meditation. It's one that I think it's going to stay with my heart for a long time because it's a fun way of working with alchemy. So new self alchemy meditation. I thought it was perfect to release this just after this show. And I see my favorite number just came up too. So yeah, let me know if there's any questions that you guys have. That is on both channels. So whether you're watching this on Soul Alchemy or whether you're watching it on Solrita Antaria, my channel. And the other thing too, I want to remind you that we still have the bundles for the potion. So this really is the best way to save, is to get a little bundle. So say you're wanting to work with Heal a Broken Heart, it's cheaper to buy this in a bundle. So let me just find my little bundle thing. Oh, I think I have to click up the top. Hold on a sec, guys. So in the top, you'll see there's one for activating your power. So this little bundle would be perfect for using that main character energy. So we have Abundance, I Am That Witch, Love Potion, and Vision Quest. So all of these specifically work with activating that main character energy. You'll also get to read a little bit about that. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. And let me just see. Oh, that is a good one. Oh, thank you. And let me just see. So Lorianne said, main character energies, will or are they going to upgrade with Ascension? So yeah, this is also why I'm doing, oh, that's so true. Thank you, Seema. I'm so close to the 5K mark. So yeah, I'm just having fun doing these shows. So whenever it happens, it'll happen. But thank you. I totally forgot that I was close to the 5K mark. But let me just bring up Lorianne's question again. So with the whole like ascension and shift, it's really more important than ever, that story that we're telling ourselves, because we actually have more of an influence over the field. Our frequency and energy is rising. So we're also going to start attracting on a much higher level. And what that will look like is things manifesting much faster. So whether it's the positive or the negative things from the past, or the positive things that we're telling ourselves for future. So I'm glad that you asked that question. Does anyone else have a question? But yeah, John, thank you so much for the show today, Sorita, and everyone's comments and idea. Love our soul tribe. Oh, cute. Nice little play on my name. Thank you. So yeah, it looks like we might be finished. I don't see any more questions. So hopefully that means that I've covered everything. Please do drop in the comments below if there is any other show ideas or information that you guys have maybe been having as a challenge or that you're stuck with, because I would love to build shows around this. Yes, last question. So looping thoughts will be gone. So this is something that we worked with this manifestation where we did the 16-hour robotic. So myself and also a few others experienced where when you're starting to direct your consciousness and you're saying the same thing over and over again. So it might be, let me think of something off the top of my head. You might be using an affirmation of, I have my ideal body. So that might be something that you're working with. I used an abundance one, the one that I worked with. Thank you. But say you're running the affirmation of I'm in my ideal weight and body, I feel amazing. I'm in my ideal weight and body, I feel amazing. I'm in my ideal weight and body, I feel amazing. This is a way to imprint. Now, it does not matter with the robotic affirmation if you do not believe it, because you're saying it so long over a period of time that it actually starts to shift. And what happens is you start to embody that. So you're rewriting that tape. You still will get the loops, but it's to consciously say, no, I don't choose that. This is what I choose instead, and reaffirm. Yeah, that was beautifully expressed. So, oh, and good point. So, Ocean is saying, please show your inner child so much love. This is a big part of it too, with this kind of work. And thank you all. I love you, Soul Tribe. And thank you, Jake. So, yeah, glad that this seems to be answering all the questions. Please check the meditation that will be up in 5 minutes. So we're on the countdown. I love you all very much. Oh, and for booking a session, if you want to go in deep or work on personal things one-on-one, you know that I love to nurture and support you on your journey. So please book a session. You can either go to solrita.com or masonjupiter.com, and you will find if you use the discount code Jupiter, you will be able to connect with me at a cheaper price. All right. So I will see you guys on the weekend. Bye.